It's going to fall for Ibrahimovic. Oh, come on! Davy Beckham. Oh, goodness me! There's Giassi Zales. Can he do it? Yes, he can! Robbie Keane continues to captivate. Back from the dead. LA Galaxy level things up. It is over. The Los Angeles Galaxy have won their 6th MLS Cup.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Cosmos, episode 28. The full crew is here. My camera might be a little laggy, so I apologize for that. As long as my audio keeps up, that's all that matters. I'm going to plug us first, and then we'll get into today's episode. Going for 100. Going for 100. Still at 59. Someone please become number 60. I'm also going to shout out the fact that Mila and Dari are officially in together. Look at this cute-ass duo. Let's go. We're going to start with Riqui Puig. Today is decision day on him becoming either a player for the season or if he goes on the season-ending injury list. We'll also talk about the expectations for the rest of the year from us because the season is officially over. I think this Riqui Puig thing ties directly into that, as well as the youth continuing to shine with Sanabria getting a late goal against Houston in maybe the laggiest, crappiest, shittiest MLS dream of all time, which I'll get into a little later. And no, we're not talking about the game against Seattle because they've already beaten us by an aggregate of 6-0 over the last two matches. I'm not talking about anymore. But let's start with Riqui Puig, our boy, Sweet Prince. Mila and Dari, since you guys are together, what do you think about Riqui Puig coming back this season? Do you want to see him come back? And if you do, let's talk about the implications.
Well, are we talking about like him actually playing, or just what are the implications of him coming back roster wise? Games. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if he's ready, I think it doesn't hurt to give him minutes. He's gonna have to play them at some point, but I mean, there's no point in rushing it any more than we need to. There's nothing to play for anymore.
I think. Okay, at first I was on the train that he shouldn't come back to playing games yet. There's no point. He just gets fouled too much. But now I'm thinking maybe if he's just a bench player for the rest of the season, let the young guys play for the majority of the game, and then let him get his match sharpness up at the end of the game, then I think that would be fun.
Yeah. Andrew, what are your thoughts on Riqui Puig potentially returning and if he should?
Yeah, honestly, I think he should. There's just something that comes from playing game minutes when it comes to developing and getting back up to speed that you're never going to get from practice, from training. You're never going to get it from any preseason friendlies or scrimmages the team might set up. I feel like it would sort of be a step back in his development and sort of re-emerging into the starting 11. I don't think he should play 90 minutes in any of the games, really, but he should get to know his new teammates. I mean, the roster, as we've seen this year, has totally changed. And a lot of these players, maybe not all of them, are going to be part of this team in 2026. And Riqui Puig hasn't gotten a chance to play with any of them, really. He has been in training a little bit, but again, you just can't replicate the competitiveness, having an opponent really giving their all to try to stop you in training, in these preseason scrimmages, whatever it might be. And I think that's super valuable if we want to see a sharp Riqui Puig in 2026. Yeah, it really just comes down to that. If we want to see him get sharp, it's important to give him minutes. I think he wants to play as well with a player like Riqui Puig. We've sort of talked about this when we talk about Greg Vanney, but Greg Vanney is Riqui Puig's guy. And when Riqui Puig is a guy who can win you a title on his own, you satisfy your star player, you satisfy your star guy. If your star guy wants to play, I feel like maybe we should let him play a little bit. And again, it's really just about getting his feet wet, getting those reps in. And, it's really high value reps that we're looking for. But at the end of the day, I feel like we're going to look at this, mention it, but Corner of the Galaxy, Josh, he highlighted something really important, that at the end of the day, this is a medical decision. If he is good to go, he's going to play. If he's not going to go, he's not going to play. It's really just as simple as that. But, I hope he is, because, again, I just think he needs to get that sharpness back. It's been a whole year, essentially, of not playing competitive football. There's no other scenario like a competitive match. So if we could get him a couple of those high value reps, it would be all the better for 2026 if he's healthy.
If he's healthy is the big thing. I've been pretty consistent on the idea of him playing because I think that you can't replicate match minutes at any portion of any season through preseason, and the idea of Riqui Puig not playing a match for what's going to be more than a calendar year is really concerning to me. I think that if you can get him back and playing, whether it's, portions of games within the MLS and then some or most of the game in 20 days, which is also kind of an expectations thing, but we're playing for a trophy. I'd love to see Riqui get minutes in that, play at the highest level, get it back to his best, because I think we've seen it with Rodri a little bit and some of the other guys that have had these kind of major ligament injuries is it takes them months to really get back up to full speed. And even when they do get back up to full speed, like you see them have setbacks. Like Rodri, for example, just missed a couple of weeks after coming back being healthy for the entire summer, misses a week because once you start putting that load on your body, there's a give and take to it. So I think we're all in agreement that Riqui Puig needs to come back, and I'd like to see him come back here. My camera might be cooked for the rest of the episode. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but with that being said, with Riqui Puig, all of us being on board, we have to talk about the implications of him coming back, which are heavy to the extent of we need to free up an international spot. We are currently maxed out at 11 of 11. I don't know how we get rid of one, if I'm being honest with you. I'll list off the guys for people that don't know that are international spots. It's all three of the DPs. So you got Riqui, Paintsel-Peck, you've got Royce, Yamane, Sanabria, the worst player ever. What's his name? Zonka. Sorry, they don't put Zonka's name on the thing. It's Mateus Jorgensen.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Yoshida, Garces, and Aude. Oh, Aude and Mikovic. So I don't know if you guys know a single guy there that you could just either openly cut or waive. None of them are injured, so you can't put any of them on the season-ending thing. I don't know.
I think
this roster.
From a business standpoint, I think the easy answer is Nascimento. He's on loan. He's not guaranteed to be here next year. He's hurt. And if we're going to lose a DP, there's an option to go get someone close to one of our main players at the 9. So in my head, I think he would be the easy one, but he's also probably one of our more exciting players this season. It's just the fact that you don't fall in love with a lone player, and he's not technically ours as of right now.
Now I'm getting a little confused because I'm not seeing his name here. He might not be involved. He might not be involved.
They already took him off?
This just doesn't have him listed.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. No, sorry. He is, but it says that he's loaned out. So I don't know if that's confusing. I'm going to assume that he's on there. We bought an extra international spot. Let's go with that. So is he the easiest person to and he's been injured. Can you just move him onto the season ending if you're going to bring Riqui back?
I think so. I mean, yeah, I feel like if they want to bring him back, they'll have to be the move.
So you put him on season ending, so are you just assuming if you're putting him on season ending that's it as a Galaxy player? Like we're calling it. We're going back into the market next summer for a striker.
That's true. There's not that many games left.
Is he not on another year?
Is it a 2-year loan?
I think he has 2 years.
It's isn't it club options?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the option to send him back. I think if that's the case, we're going to put someone on the season ending for Riqui Puig, and if that's the case, then I think you're saying that you're sending him back.
I don't know. I mean,
does that make sense to put someone on the season ending if you're gonna keep him around?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like this is like 5 games left.
If he's gonna come back, then I think no.
Yeah, but that's the
thing. But if he's not coming back, then I think it's fine to ship him off. And I think there is an option at the 9.
Yeah, I agree.
Open and available for at least 1 to 2 years, at least.
Oh man, I'm looking at all the so everybody's got guaranteed deals into next season that has an international. that's
in
tough.
my head. Peck's leaving, so we're
In my head he's leaving too.
The international spot anyways to spend on Robert
Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Barca said they don't want to renew him already.
They already said that. Nice.
Waiting for us to call him.
Yeah,
he's waiting for Royce to call him.
Yeah.
And say, come to Newport Beach.
We can eat some hot dog.
That would be lit. I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah, we need that. In my head, that's what I can see happening, though. But what do you guys? Or who's another guy that you think it could be?
You get. My opinion is you pay it on defense. That's okay. This is the one thing that like could be in the cards, and like I've thrown out the idea of Tomiyasu. I don't know realistically what that looks like. I don't even know if you can bring him in on a free right now. But I think because he's a free agent, you could.
Right now?
So if you were to, let's just say they decided, you know what, Nascimento is not for us. You free up that international spot. You have a free agent spot. See, these are the technicalities that I don't know, but could you say
on the under 22 spot, though, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. That's another issue.
That's the other issue.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Would that even work for Puig then? Are we just talking nonsense?
I think so, because it's just an international spot that needs to be open. We're under roster compliance in terms of the way that we're constructed, but the issue is just being over because Riqui pushes it to 12 instead of it being currently what it is, which is 11.
Right. Okay.
Without him. Fuck. We're fucked. We're fucked.
There's no. I mean, I cut Zonka or something, but there's too many injuries in the back that we never know who's going to be playing, so you can't cut a defender.
But that's probably the easiest. Look, who's picking up Zonka? Like, you're not keeping him on the books next season. Like, he might be a guaranteed contract, but I'm assuming we're cutting and waiving him and eating the money.
Yeah.
So then that makes no sense if we were to just cut him loose and then he can go as a free agent back to Europe if he wanted to.
I just feel like we're gonna have to see like a Surreal at center back again.
Well, we signed Rindov.
That's true. Rindov would be. I don't know. We're never fit in the back right this season.
Well, we also have Zavaleta.
It's also like what are we doing? So it doesn't matter. It's just one big circle.
It is.
Yeah, to me, I feel like that makes the most sense. I mean, Zonka has been the biggest liability. I was really on board just technically on the Nascimento idea, cutting him. But the whole point, I feel, of getting Riqui Puig in now is to let him get to know these players who are going to be part of the team for 2026. And in my mind, Nascimento is one of those players who is going to be here for the longer term. He just seems to me like a Vanny striker. I keep on, quoting the same press conference where I got to speak with him. And when he describes his own play style, he describes that 99. Someone who likes to drop, link up the play, and then, come back into the box and finish. He just has that all, I think, and we've talked about it, I feel like, in the last podcast, comparing it to someone like Dejan Joveljic, who took a long time, maybe 2-3 years to get to the point where he could genuinely contribute in the build-up. Nascimento has that right away. I feel like what we want to see is get Riqui Puig and Nascimento getting some reps together. If we cut Nascimento, to me, that you're losing one of the biggest reasons why you're having Puig come back. Whereas if we cut Zonka, to me, we're cutting off a dead weight. He did have a couple of good performances in Leagues Cup against some Mexican teams. Maybe that suited his play style a little bit more. Maybe some Mexican clubs might be looking at him if he does become a free agent. But with Chris Rindov, I think we're okay. We still have, Zavaleta hasn't played that many minutes, but he can still do a job. Yoshida, I mean, we're going to talk about it when we talk about this Houston game. It's also shaky, but at the end of the day, who cares? It's 5 MLS games left. We're not fighting for anything there. We have another game against Toluca, which is maybe meaningful, but at the end of the point, I don't think we miss him. Whereas if we do end up cutting Nascimento, I feel like we're just cutting off a lot more in terms of potential. Whereas for Zonka, it's maybe we're cutting out some mistakes. We're saving ourselves a goal or two conceded in these next coming games. I'm high on Rindolph. I think he can step in and do. I don't doubt that he could do a better job than maybe Zonka did, with either Garces eventually getting healthy, with either Maya or Zavaleta. We do have a couple of options still there, so depth for me isn't necessarily a big issue. So in my mind, that makes the most sense. You're not losing much if you cut him. There's some other options that you can still play around with. And again, at the end of the day, yeah, we're talking about a back line that might be fit, might not be whatever, but it's not like we have to play the rest of the season, 30 something games. We have to finish out 5 to maybe not get the wooden spoon. That's really what we're fighting for, what we're talking about. So that doesn't give me any hesitations. Cut Zonka, let's go for it. Bring in Puig and let him get those reps with players like, alongside him in the midfield, players like Winder, players like Sanabria. Get him used to playing with Cerrillo as that one CDM. Get him used to playing with Nascimento. I feel like all of that is way more valuable than keeping Zonka on the books.
Agreed. There's only one scenario where the Nascimento thing makes a lot of sense to me. And it's one of those things where in the moment I'm going to be pissed off because we won't see the full plan until the summer. But that's if you were to cut him now, you bring Riqui in, you figure out a stopgap for the beginning of the year. And then in the summer, you do what LAFC does every summer and you sign a player to a max TAM deal. Because I think the club option on Fagundes gets waived. I think Fagundes goes somewhere else. And you give that max TAM to Lewandowski. And that's where you get to keep all 3 of the killer Ps. You don't have to move off a DP.
That would be.
And then you figure out the rest of it defensively with whatever the rest of the money is. Because there's some other money that gets to be worked around. Christian Ramirez's contract on Sport Tech is telling me that he's done for the year. So that's 500 he gets to work with. We'll have enough to talk about at the end of the year when everything's said and done and we kind of know where the roster sits. But that's the worst part about this whole waiting game, and we'll find out tomorrow like what direction this team is heading in. But I'm more on board of keeping the youth than going the older route, unless it's Lewandowski. That might be the only exception to that case.
Yeah.
All right, Dari, we were waiting for you to do this podcast in this particular topic, so I'm going to start with you. Your expectations for the rest of the year. There's 5 MLS games, and then there's a trophy at the end of the season, the essential Super Cup of MLS and Liga MX. So where do you want to see the Galaxy do well, or what do you want to see from the Galaxy moving forward?
I think we should just take these next 5 games as like a run through for next season. Treat them almost like preseason games, and just try not to run through the motions. Take them seriously, but not burn out all your energy. Because I think that last game, I mean, it'd be nice to put a trophy on this, make us feel a little bit better about ourselves. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's all a bit trivial right now. We've been saying it all year, but I mean, yeah. Hopefully, we can get Riqui some reps, like we said earlier, like late in games. But yeah, just keep it. Just try to get some momentum for next year. I think.
Yeah.
Is that trophy? Is that Super Cup game at the end of the season?
It's in 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Late September.
It's the beginning of October.
October 1st.
Yeah, I don't know. It said 20 days on a post I saw, so
October 1st.
It's nice. October 1st. Nice. Cool. That makes sense. There's 31 days in October. Whatever. Calendar speak. Andrew, we'll go to you next, and then we'll flip to Mila, and I'll round it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo a lot of what Dari said. To me, I'm seeing the rest of these games as an extended preseason. And, it's a little bit of a luxury that we got ourselves by being so bad the rest of the year that we don't have anything to fight for. But like we talked about a little bit earlier, you're not going to get high-level reps in preseason games and scrimmages that you set up in training. This is just a perfect time for, Vanny to experiment with formation, with the younger guys, see who he wants to bring towards the next year. As we just talked about, I'm sure the front office is having a lot of similar conversations in regards to roster construction and who's going to be here in 2026, who's getting cut in 2026. We can answer a lot of these questions by seeing how they perform in these last 5 MLS games. Whoever does perform, doesn't perform, maybe you're losing a job or maybe you're winning yourself a spot on your roster next year. So, like Dari mentioned again, they do have to take it a little bit seriously because in my mind, they're playing to convince Greg Vanney, to convince Rick Wilcoons to either renew them, to not cut out their contract, to give themselves a spot on his 2026 team, which I think they all want to be a part of because playing with Riqui Puig and Marco Royce and the Killer Peas is, an exciting prospect. And as we saw in 2024, it can get you titles. So I feel like if any of these players are to leave and have to watch that from the sidelines from a different team, it's going to sting a little bit. And I don't think any of them are going to want to feel that. So they have to play for their lives, essentially, play for those spots. So that's definitely something I want to see. I want to see Vanney mixing things up, trying maybe different shapes, different personnel in different places. I definitely want to see a lot of Rindov, a lot of Parente, a lot of Harbor Miller, a lot of these type of players. And again, let them continue to prove themselves, to show what they have, and earn themselves those 2026 spots. Uh, in terms of the Campeones Cup on August, to me, it's again, it's another glorified friendly. I'm not really, if we win or lose, my view on how the season has gone isn't going to change too much. Because again, it's not something you're going to bring up like Seattle, for example, that when we're talking about MLS historical teams, Galaxy, Seattle right now are the two that you're mentioning. Galaxy has all these cups, all this history. Seattle has won literally everything there is to win. We can't say that, you know, as soon as we bring up, oh, we won Campeones Cup, boom, have this Leagues Cup on your forehead. Like it just doesn't, it's not quite the same. So it doesn't mean much to me. It's a one-off game for something that we achieved last year, not even anything we achieved this year. It's kind of riding on our own coattails. It would be cool to win something, to win a game that matters, but I'm just not too bothered by it. For me, it's more about these MLS games and which players are going to show their worth or not in 2026. And maybe, after the season, we can assess these and talk about who we'd like to see come, who we'd like to see go. But yeah, to me, it's just, an extended preseason. And, we get all the competition, all the intensity, but essentially no consequences. And that's where we get to play around. That's why it's luxury a little bit to me. And I'd be disappointed if we didn't make the most of that, if we just tried the same old tired things. I want to see some interesting stuff. I want us to feel a little bit shocked every time we see the lineup because it's something we've never seen before. To me, that'll be good. And yeah, it's just about making the most of these high value reps that won't really cost us anything.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, that was well said. Mila?
I think Andrew covered a lot of that,
Yeah.
but I think to summarize it in a simpler way is that it's kind of do or die for a lot of these players, and that basically what Andrew was saying, you want them to fight for their spots for next season, and as fans, we don't really care. They win or they don't win, as long as they go out there, play for the badge, and show some pride. Especially if they win that cup, like you're saying, it doesn't really add anything. There's no winning over one on the rivals, but it's just pride that like they have something to play for. Yes, this season was a shit show, but take it seriously, and then show us that you want to be here, and then you'll get rewarded with being here next year. The guys that don't want to be here can leave. If they don't want to show it in these last 5 games, if they've given up, they can leave. Whether they're the DPs or just one of the young guys, like I really don't care. If you guys are not interested in giving it your all to the team, then it's time to move on. And I think that's what we can see from these last 5 games is a lot of that, just where their heart's at, where their head's at. And hopefully most of them will come out with bright eyes and a fire in the belly, trying to fight for something, at least their jobs.
Yeah. Also well said. I'm gonna end up echoing a lot of what you guys are saying, but this league gives you a unique opportunity to build on seasons prior. I think if you look at Europe and the way that's structured, me and Dari United fans, how much good came out of United finishing where they finished? Nothing. Nothing. And the Galaxy are in a similar spot, but you have a unique ability to build off of good performances at the end of a season because come next season, slate's wiped clean. You can rebuild, you can do it all again. And we gave ourselves a unique opportunity to go win a trophy at the end of the season. which is a big momentum switcher for a team that was god awful for 85% of the year. So I want to see us go out there and I want to see us perform. I also have zero interest in seeing a lot of the guys that played in the Houston game. There's a couple of like non-negotiable players that I think just need to start every single game for me now, and that's Winder.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see Lepley play every game
On the right wing
or through the middle. I don't need to see Fagundes play another minute.
That's fair.
Like if he comes off the bench, sure. I just have zero interest in a guy that's on a club option making max TAM money who's going to be 31, who I don't think is going to be here. I think that's malpractice. I get if he's a leader or if like we re-up his contract to make him lower, but that makes no sense to me to see him play minutes in meaningless games. Those are the two that I'm kind of stuck on. I think Cuevas will play minutes. I think Miller will play minutes. Those guys have kind of proven that they'll be there. I don't want to see Marco Royce play a lot of minutes. I'd like to see him go back to the bench.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's something that just makes sense to me. But Nascimento isn't healthy, and we don't have a 9.
Yeah, I don't want to see Barry or Ramirez, so I think Royce is the best option. But also, we need to keep him healthy. So there's no point in really playing him too often. Maybe play him a couple minutes with Riqui so they can get some minutes together. But that's about it. Bring them on together late in games where they can wreak havoc on tired legs.
We're going to end up talking about what the Galaxy do going forward, like into next season. But I don't know if Riqui and Royce is necessarily compatible for 90 minutes. I think it can
for 90, no.
For 30, right? And that's just Royce going back to a bench role, which makes sense. That's what we got him here to do. He's gone above and beyond those expectations. But we're going to pigeonhole ourselves into Cerrillo being a single pivot with Riqui and Royce in front of him. That's there's the chance that this is all leading to Nascimento going back and that Lewandowski thing happens and Royce plays the false 9 for the first half of the year. That could happen. But for this season, if you can get Royce back into a role where he's probably going to end up, unless he wants to play, which I have a hard time thinking that he's like pressed to get out there and play full 90s at this point.
For this season, yeah. I think next season, though, we could definitely see the extended minutes between the two of them. Because I think a lot of what we've seen from Royce and Puig on the team was a very depleted and not fit Royce. And we haven't really seen Puig with this. He looks fit, more fit than he's been in years. So it's like, I do think they can get significant minutes together, especially if we're going to bring in a Liwa type. Like, we can just dominate games. And yes, it's scary to have a lone 6, but if we're dominating that hard, it doesn't really fucking matter.
That's also a good point. We could also just change the formation entirely.
Exactly. I was also thinking a double pivot 4-2, whatever.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. We can get at that. We'll get into it later episodes because it's a rabbit hole of shit that you can fall down into. My last point is Sanabria is the last guy that we'll get into here, and he's a part of the Young Buck shine because I think of all of the players this season that have gotten unnecessary slack throughout the course of it, Sanabria is player A. We were awful. He came into a side where he was asked to do the biggest job of any player on the pitch.
Broke his body right away.
Yeah, he was hurt. He fucking died in Vancouver. Just died. So I am super happy for this moment with him. Fuck Apple TV for giving me the worst fucking stream of all time. I hate you twats. Who pay you $100 a year to watch your fucking streams. You can't even get one game right. I haven't had an issue in one game. There's either a graphic bug is fucked up. I have to listen to a dumbass commentator. Or in this one, I have to refresh your Apple TV product shit 50 times. Dumb fucking app.
There goes our Apple sponsor.
Yeah, we're never getting Apple.
Yeah, fuck them. I don't care. Fuck them. Yeah, somebody else talk about Sanabria because he deserves more light than me just shitting on Apple.
I mean, I think a lot of the hate came from just not really knowing, us as fans knowing what his role was for the team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was he brought in to be? A lot of people speculated that he was supposed to fill that gap that Puig left when he got injured. That's a hard gap to fill. Is he a little more of a defensive player with that aggression? Like, we didn't really know. And I think it started to settle in for him, along with Vanny's idea of what to do with him as the season's gone on, and along with what you were saying, he's just grown in confidence and physically he's gotten more fit. So I think it's just time, man. He's a young kid.
Yeah. I'm a piggyback off of Mila there. Just fans not knowing what to expect. I feel like there was probably some hiding expectations when he joined, especially just after losing players like Mark Delgado, Gaston Brugman, who, I mean, let's compare both of those guys with Cerrillo. They're essentially unks compared to him. Extremely experienced players, veterans essentially. Mark Delgado in this league, especially, but they know what the hell they're doing in a professional sense. They can slot into any team, as we've seen Brugman do in Nashville, as we've seen Mark Delgado do with LAFC. They can slot right in and they know exactly what to do. They're just that level of professional. They've been doing this for a while. Uh, Lucas Sanabria, he's 21 years old, I believe. I might be wrong, but he's a kid, younger than all of us on here. First time leaving his country, first time living alone. It's just not the same situation at all. Uh, to expect him to come in and fill in those roles, which it makes sense. He's like an 8, a 6 kind of this rough and tough midfielder. That's what we had in Mark Delgado. That's what we had in Gaston Brugman. So I don't blame the fans for making that comparison, but it's just not fair at all when you dive a little bit more deep into it. But again, now that we've seen him have a little bit of time just getting to know the league, to grow as a player, to grow as a person, I mean, time is only going to make him better. I've said that since the beginning about Sanabria. I've said that in the beginning about Winder. These are young kids who are only going to get better as they mature, as they grow, as people, as they grow footballistically. It's literally just a matter of time. Like, time is going to be a virtue for them. And we're talking about 8-ish months that we've seen with Sanabria, and already there's a massive difference. He's pretty unlucky not to have 2 goals this year. Losing one to Nascimento's ass in that game a couple of weeks ago. But he's a player who can have an impact, who can contribute to the build up, to all of these things. But it's really just about him learning how to play the game, learning to get to that stage that Delgado and Brugman both were. So to me, he's gonna be a stud. This is just an impossibly difficult year for him to show any of that, especially like Dylan talked about, when he comes in, gets hurt right away, just all these setbacks in the early going, and then these unfair comparisons. Like, it's going to be a tough time for him. So I admire him for standing up against it, continue to play, kind of keeping his head down, being resolute. This is something that I haven't mentioned, but a little bit of an inside thing. I was on a Talking Galaxy podcast, and Julian Payton, he's like the head of that. He has I forget the name of his page, but this massive Instagram page, and he hasn't been shy about his Sanabria hate. He's one of those people who I think has maybe succumbed a little bit to those comparisons, but he hasn't been shy about it. Julian Aude went ahead and reached out to him, told him, "Hey, could you stop talking about him? Could you take down some of these posts?" There's a little bit of quid pro quo there, but I mean, the players have seen it, and the players have had to stand up for Sanabria because it was obviously affecting him. Despite all of that, though, he's putting in the performance that we saw in Houston. He earned us a point. He literally contributed. Was maybe, you could argue, the most valuable player on the pitch that day for the Galaxy. Because besides that, we would have lost a point. And a point in this league, usually when we're competing, it's massive. So for him to show that he can go ahead and earn us points, have this massive impact in this type of season, in this type of situation, to me, those are all green flags for 2026. So I'm super stoked on what he can show next year. But yeah, I think he's just a young kid who's been keeping his head down, working, kind of taking this shit to the face, but wiping his head off and continuing to play. So admire him for that. And yeah, just keep your eyes on him for 2026. I'm super stoked to shut out all these like paid in type people who have been hating on him. I'm definitely a Sanabria propagandist, so stoked for him.
Yeah, same. Look, I think that he's got real attacking talent. I don't think that I think they're underestimating that. That goal that he scored this weekend is fucking absurd. To score that coming off as a sub and having a real box present. He did that against, was it Orlando earlier in the season as well? I think he's just been misutilized. And I think in a squad that isn't tailored towards him currently, it doesn't make sense. But the thing that made Mark Delgado really good was, one, he was just a great athlete. And 2, he'd win the ball and give it to Riqui Puig. Mark Delgado in this side probably has a similar return to what Sanabria has in this side. Not as good of a attacking player, but I think I'm just seeing him. I know that everyone thinks he's a 6 because that's what FOTMob tells you. He's not a 6. Sanabria is not a 6. I think he's a true box-to-box 8. If anything, I think you could make the argument that he's more of a true 8 than anything. I think that he's really good in the box. And to Mila's point, if you're going to dominate matches and you're going to have 60, 70% possession of every single match, I'd rather have a Sanabria out there or a Winder out there than I would just have someone who's just going to sit back with Cerrillo. That's not important. You can get away with Cerrillo as your single pivot if you dominate matches in that fashion. Then Sanabria had 2 passes in this match and came away with a goal in 30 minutes. I think if that tells you what this team is currently lacking, there's a lot, but I'm excited for him as a prospect. I think he's got the tools. Also, being a 6 in Uruguay, dude, every midfielder is a 6 in Uruguay. They just play that into football. They just go out there and they kick shins because they're fucking good at it. And I respect it, but that's not how the game's played here. It's just a different sport. I got nothing else.
One last thing, I think, just in terms of expectations and things, something that I don't think we've seen yet. Obviously, this was 2 weeks ago now, maybe last week, but there was the supporter groups and the front office getting together, making that agreement that they're coming back. But we haven't really seen that yet. We had that home game. I'm blanking on who it was against, but the V block was, again, pretty empty, pretty quiet. Galaxians were there, I believe. Riot Squad was there, but I didn't really feel too much from the Outlaws or ACB. So I do want to see them come back out, support, fill out the stadium a little bit more. To me, there's not much like a packed out Dignity Health Sports Park that's really getting behind their team. And it's just, I miss it, to be honest. I've been away. I'm over here in Virginia currently, but to see these games on TV and to see the stands so barren, it's sad, it's depressing. And if I can hear a little bit of that noise on the broadcast, it'll make me happy, and I can't imagine what it'll do for the players. If you guys have this agreement, if you're ready to come back to the stadium, that's something I want to start seeing. Obviously, a lot of difficult challenges to overcome from the front office and everything. Difficult to support a team that maybe has been performing the way we have. But, I mean, as they say, en las buenas y en las malas, in the good times and in the bad. This is the bad, so let's see it. I want to see them show up. But yeah, just another expectation I have for these last couple of games. I want to see some more fan culture. I want to feel that a little bit start to grow more and more. Maybe it's preseason for the supporter groups as well. A lot of them, have lost that cadence. Maybe not everybody remembers the songs like they used to. Start practicing them now. There's a point in 2023. I remember that V Block was passing out lyric sheets. Let's see some stuff like that. Let's get some people back into the flow. Let's see those drums again, and let's get everybody back on beat for 2026, because I think it's going to be another special year.
Yeah, that's a great point. They've given us something to be optimistic about through the last few weeks here. I mean, they've actually played really good football over the last month and a half plus.
It's just a lot to ask. I think it's just a lot to ask when the team has nothing to fight for. Even in the Premier League, when teams don't have anything to fight for, their attendance goes down. So it doesn't matter whether we're good or bad. I also think front office hasn't been great to the fans in general.
That's definitely played a big part.
So, but Andrew is right. We do need to get behind the team. We've been lacking in attendance, which is probably where most of the noise is.
At least the supporters groups, the general fan, these general sections, I don't mind too much, but I want to see V Block filled. I want to see LA Riot Spot filled. Those corners, that's what I want to see pop, and that's what I want to see come back together again a little bit. At least, if we could fill up even half of those sections, that's going to be a lot more than we've seen recently. Let's see, that's what I want to see. These diehards to come back, start getting back into the rhythm of these chants, these anthems. Yeah, and again, we have I've just talked trash on the cup, Campeones Cup, but we have a trophy to play for. If we can get some energy for what's essentially a title game, a championship game, that's something that I think might merit it, might deserve some fans to come back. So again, just agreeing with Mila. The general fan, I definitely agree with. I canceled my season ticket. Part of that is that I'm not necessarily in the state anymore, but it's been a bad year, and there's been so many people, supporters, season ticket holders, just general fans, who are staying away because of everything. But if we had this agreement with the supporter groups, the front office, if the relationship got a little bit stronger, these trials and tribulations might have been worth something. Yeah, again, I just want to see the hardcores. I want to see V Block. I want to see Lars. I want to feel some noise.
Yeah.
We have a title, let's support the title contenders.
Yeah.
I think that one will
Hell yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, we have a chance to win a trophy.
Yeah.
Why would you not come out?
Yeah.
Oh,
if I didn't live as far away as I did, I probably would be there. I might be there. Who knows?
You'll be there.
Yeah, come on. Let's do it.
Maybe I'll be there.
You can sleep over.
Yeah, we're like half the way that he is.
Yeah. For anyone who's normally a listener, Alex, this is to you. I don't know scheduling wise what the rest of the season will look like. I'm hoping that we'll be able to bring some special guests on and do some more maybe personal stuff. If you'd like to see us maybe do international stuff, let us know. But I've got nothing left to say. You guys all good to wrap it up? Mr. NGF Andrew, you know the deal. Plug your stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Los Angeles Sports Nation. Right after this, I'm going to be working on an article. I've been slacking, doing some other stuff, but we're going to get back to weekly articles, free coverage of the team, of everything going on. You could find some articles there. I'm on Twitter at NGF Andrew. You can find my articles or clips from press conferences there. We're on Instagram, Nuestra Galaxia Futbolera, and we're on TikTok too. We got clips there. Andy.Hernandy. Check us out. But yeah, just a lot of coverage coming from myself and the boys. So, get plugged in.
Hell yeah. Like Andrew said, you can find us everywhere. So let's fucking do it. Yeah, I guess from Mila plus Dari, myself, and Mr. NGF Andrew, we have been Clash of Cosmos. This has been episode 28, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
They're going to go alone. Still back! What a goal! It's 6. They just cannot stop scoring. The volley from Bono. Yes! San Jose carved open with a world-class pass from Riqui Puig. Glittering Galaxy, and Landon Donovan is the match winner.